All right, it is 6:02. Let's call the meeting of the City of Tonawanda Council to order. Can you please call the roll?
Lulanich,
Here.
Nocera,
Here.
Rautenstrau,
Here.
Mylum,
Here.
Cook.
Here. All right, before we go through the agenda, I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session for contract negotiations. Do I have a second? Second by Mrs. Lulanich. All those in favor? Okay, executive at 6:02.
Okay, just to let everyone know that, I'm sorry, we just brought everyone into the Zoom call for the executive. We will be putting you back in the waiting room until the executive is over and pausing the recording.
Oh, okay, I'll talk to you.
Okay. Oh, I don't know how to fix this. Okay. All right. Oh. Okay. It is what it is. Yeah, I don't know. They're looking at my forehead. Okay, so on the agenda, all right, so on the minutes. Mr. Mylum. Okay. Excuse me. We're back, okay? Can we, on the bills,
You want them this week or do you want to take them?
all right, Mr. Nocera? Okay. All right, a special events application for the New Life Center for the worship in the park on July 2nd.
I'll take it.
Okay, Ms. Lulanich. Okay, and then next is another special events application for the 5K walk run ride for FOP on July 31st. All right, Mr. Mylum, I'll second if no one objects. Okay, the next is the resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into the agreement with UNS Services for the maintenance and servicing for our HVAC equipment at a cost of $38,300. Okay,
Madam President, who sponsored that one?
Mr. Mylum.
Thank you.
So resolution 6 is a special events application for Church in the Wind for the revival at the canal at the band shell on August 6th. I apologize. Mr. Rautenstrau. Okay. All right, the next, at the recommendation of Mr. Lamonaco, we award Wendell not to exceed $25,875. This is for the remodeling that we're going to be doing at City Hall, and we're going to be reimbursed by the courts. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Ms. Lulanich. Okay, any questions on any of these?
That's for the work that's taking place behind.
Right.
Yes.
Not in
The
the
dais,
court
the
here,
wall.
right,
Yes,
the office, yes.
and they're building a new office, right?
They're building all new cubicle.
Yeah, the whole.
They were
It's a
supposed to
big
do it
project.
last year, now they want to really complete it.
All right. Do you know when that construction will begin?
This fall.
Okay,
Because they've got to put out the bid yet, we've got to get the best bidders up. I mean, they're doing, Wendell's doing the work for us,
okay,
because they're releasing from us.
all right. All right, then next is a resolution at the recommendation of Jason Lamonaco for the CDBG sanitary sewer as the streets indicated at a cost of $118,958. Yes, Mr. Rounstrau.
That's shown or Carl?
Mr. Rounstrau, you can second. You got it. Okay, resolution 9 is the special events application from the Football Booster Club for the car parade on August 27th.
I'll take it.
Mr. Nocera.
All right.
All right. So then the next two resolutions are those ordinance changes that we had discussed. All right, so resolution 10. Yes, Mr. Armstrong, you want it? Okay. Any questions on this one? So the grass is 10 inches instead of
12.
Yep. Okay. The next resolution is the fines relative to the grass.
Take it.
Monica? Any questions on this? Okay, we're cruising here. Okay. And then the next resolution is relative to the cost of the totes. So that went up from 50 to 75.
Oh,
And then
change
the
in
change,
yeah.
correct, at 5:30 a.m. Questions on, Mr. Armstrong?
No questions. Was
Okay.
a change to it and updating from like. that we got that.
What was that? Was it the no, the warranty stays the
Yeah, it
same.
was a warranty. on the bottom.
Oh, we
Joey
added the
wanted-
warranty?
Joey wanted a warranty. and I
Oh,
agreed.
okay, okay,
And we had Mike write it up, just to have some kind of. Cool.
okay. All right. Yep. I think we all wrote your name down already.
Yeah, it's yours.
All right, the Canal Fest agreement.
I'm sorry,
Um,
Madam President, I apologize. For
That's
resolution
okay, I'm sorry, we're going quick. Mr.
What-
Rautenstrau
For 12,
for 12,
okay.
okay. So now resolution 13, there's an amendment. So let's all, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but number 14, It's
Page 9. 'cause there's
page
two-
9.
there's
Yeah.
two
Oh, sorry.
14s.
Two lists.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, there's
that's
two
why I
two
was
batches.
confirmed.
Page 10 also has another list of,
Oh,
Oh,
but it
with
was
the
page
14,
9,
yeah.
yes,
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
page 9.
So it's going to read proof of liability insurance approved for by the corporation, naming the city as an additional insured, et cetera. So we're going there. Now we're going to the second line. The corporation shall indemnify and hold the city harmless from any and all claims or causes of action which are related to claims of a negligent act, comma, wrongful act. We strike the or, omission, comma, and or intentional misconduct by agents of the corporation or city. Does that say arising?
Yeah.
Arising from Canal Fest 2022.
and then strike the entire.
And then we're striking the next, the city agrees to indemnify and hold the corporation harmless. Okay. Everybody all on the same page? Mr. Clerk, you got all that, right?
Yes, Madam President.
Okay, perfect. All right. Do we want to do council on this? Okay. All right. And we're not going to waive the reading, right?
Nope. Should be read twice.
Okay, resolution 14.
So I think because of the late nature of turning this in and kind of that sense of urgency that we had, I would like to table this until the next time so that all of our council members have ample time to read it. And we can also, in the spirit of unity, craft it together
Okay,
instead of having it just come from one person.
okay,
They don't think they're for. Having support on this.
Absolutely. I think, like, I think what we said before is we're all kind of arguing the exact same point. The exact same point. And I think just doing this from a collaborative effort will make it even more powerful for the city.
Okay, so we have a motion to table by Mr. Mylan. Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Nocera. All those in favor? Okay. Resolution's tabled. Okay. We've already done exec. Does anybody have anything else for exec? Okay. How much time do I have? Really?
No, you have 5 minutes.
Is it 5 minutes? All right, so let's take a break before we go down the floor. Is the computer out front hooked up?
Yes, Madam President.
Okay, perfect. All right. So we'll do that.
Since this is more like this. with the
So at this time, we're going to be pausing the recording.
for the-
Madam President, it's 7 o'clock. At this time, we're in a recording.
I can't, Jim, I can't hear you, buddy.
Madam President?
Jim, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, good. Yep, I can hear you. Good, okay. All right. All right, let's call the meeting of the City of Tonawanda Council to order. Please call the roll.
Lulanich,
Here,
Nocera,
Here.
Rautenstrau,
Here.
Mylum,
Here.
Cook.
Here, Mr. Clerk, I don't have the prayer with me.
It's okay.
I think it was emailed.
No, you put it in your.
Yeah, I didn't bring it up here.
may I go get it?
Yeah, does somebody mind to go get the big folder I have? All right, sorry about that. Okay, I don't have the prayer, so we'll just wait 1 second. No, right? You got it? All right, if everybody can please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. Our Heavenly Father, thank you for your blessings upon our city and our country. We ask for your favor, O Lord, and your continued blessings upon your people. Lord, we pray for our citizens and our city employees, our firefighters, police officers, DPW and parks employees. We thank you, Lord, for our volunteer firefighters, police auxiliary officers, and all of our community volunteers who make this city a great place to live and work. We ask for wisdom for our community leaders, our council, and our mayor. Give them the means and the resources to make wise and just decisions. We pray that our community would flourish. Our waterfront, downtown, and businesses, may they thrive. All this we ask in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. You may be seated. Okay, so bid openings as per the agenda. I'd like to turn it over to the mayor and the Youth Bureau Director for the presentation of the book awards.
Great. As you know, we have a couple book awards we're going to give out. And the book awards are from our Youth Bureau, our City of Tonawanda Youth Bureau, which is chaired by Blake. Blake, come on up, Blake. We've got 2 winners today. One is Emma Lulanich, and the other one is Candy Strahan. Both of them were book award winners of, I believe it was $500. They've already were given them. These are the awards. I'd like to give this to you, Blake. Okay.
Hey, would you like your picture?
Emma's not here, so we're gonna have Monica.
I am going to.
Do you want your picture? Okay.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
Candace, wanna come up? Each year, the City of Tonawanda Youth Bureau, back when my child, my oldest was back in high school, he's 44 right now, we were involved in the youth board back then. So the Youth Bureau right now, what the Youth Bureau does is they collect funds, do fundraisers throughout the year. Our big fundraiser this year is gonna be with the family camp out, August 5th. So I mean, if you've heard about it, please come out and do that. But what we do is we collect the money, and the youth Bureau Book Award was not only stressed on the academics, but truly on the community service. And after reading what Emma and also Candace have stated, they are very well reserved for receiving of this award. So thank you very much.
Want to get a picture?
Candace, may I have a picture also?
You don't need me.
So much.
Emma's working, so she can't be here right.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll now turn it over again to the mayor for the presentation for the Veteran of the Month.
Great. We started a Veteran of the Month quite a long time ago, and I am proud to present this month, for the month of June, to Glenn Forrest Wayers, Senior. Now, he's not here tonight. What I'm doing tomorrow, in recognition, first of all, 44 years of service to New York State Army National Guard. We just say congratulations, thank you for all he's done. I am actually going to go to his home that he's at in Cheektowaga tomorrow after work, and I'm going to present it to him in person. I think it's important. He couldn't be here. It'd be great to go see him. He's looking forward to it. He's going to have family members coming in from out of town, and I'm kind of excited because this is what it's about. You know, giving some kudos to individuals who have worked and fought for our country. So thank you to him very much, and I look forward to passing it on and telling him kudos from this whole council. Thank you.
Okay, communications from the mayor have been ordered and filed. Communications from city officials and correspondents have also been ordered and filed. Now, there's some amendments to your resolutions this evening. We're going to start with Resolution 10, or I'm sorry, Resolution 13, page 9. Actually, I'm sorry, page 8. So number 3, it's going to read the Canal Fest 2022 campus area will utilize Main Street to Seymour Street. Okay. Then on page 9, you have that, Mr. Clerk, right?
Yes, Madam President.
Then number 14. Second sentence, the corporation shall indemnify and hold the city harmless from any and all claims or causes of action which are, and we strike the direct result, and it's going to read, related to claims of a negligent act, comma, wrongful act, you're going to strike or, and it's going to read omission, comma, and or intentional misconduct by agents of the corporation or city arising from Canal Fest 2022. Then the next sentence is struck, okay? So it's going to read, the corporation shall indemnify and hold the city harmless from any and all claims or causes of action which are related to claims of a negligent act, comma, wrongful act, omission, comma, and or intentional misconduct by agents of the corporation or city arising from Canal Fest 2022. Okay. All right. With that said, and actually, we had a motion to table resolution 14. So we'll just do that right now. Motion was made by Mr. Mylum, seconded by Mr. Nocera. Mr. Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Olanich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye. All right, resolution 14 is tabled. So we'll now take comments by the public on the resolutions. For those that are joining us virtually, There's a spot for you to raise your hand. Please do so, and the clerk will call upon you. For those that are joining us in person, please approach the microphone. Mr. Clerk, anyone wishing to address the council on the resolutions?
Madam President, at this time, I do not show anyone in the Zoom call looking to make any comments on the resolutions.
Okay, hearing and seeing none, let's roll.
Resolution number 1 by Councilmember Mylum.
We have a second.
I'll second, Madam President.
Second by Mr. Rounstrau.
Resolved that the common council minutes from June 7th be accepted as filed.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Lulanich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum. Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 2 by Councilmember Nocera.
Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Mylum.
Resolved that the bills be allowed as audited.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Lulanich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 3 by Councilmember Lulanich.
Do we have a second?
Second, Madam President.
Second by Mr. Rautenstrau.
Resolved that the special events application was received by the city clerk for the New Life Center Church for worship in the park. And whereas the application was reviewed and commented on by all appropriate department heads to ensure the safety and well-being of our residents. And whereas all the details of the above named event must be coordinated with Parks and Rec, Parks Director Amanda Loft and the event chairperson. Now therefore be resolved that permission is granted to New Life Center Church to hold their worship in the park event on Saturday, July 2nd, 2022 from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Be it further resolved that a certificate of insurance naming the city of Tonawanda as additionally insured be filed with the city clerk no later than June 24th, 2022.
Comments or questions?
Is this a local church from our city? Is this-
Mr. Clerk?
Yes, ma'am.
The church, it's local, correct? I'm pretty certain, but I just want to, okay, a majority of people here are nodding yes.
Yes, it's on Luxon, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Any other questions? Okay, please call the roll.
Lulanich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 4 by Councilmember Mylum.
I'll second.
Whereas a special events application was received by the city clerk from Don Wells for a 5K walk, run, ride for FOP. And whereas the application was reviewed and commented on by all appropriate department heads to ensure the safety and well-being of our residents. And whereas all details of the above named event must be coordinated with Parks Director Amanda Loft and the event chairperson. Now therefore be resolved that permission is granted to hold the 5K walk, run, ride for FOP on Sunday, July 31st, 2022 at 9 a.m. The event will begin and end at the band shell at Niawanda Park. And be it further resolved that a certificate of insurance naming the city of Tonawanda as additionally insured be filed with the city clerk no later than July 25th, 2022.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Lulanich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 5 by Councilmember Mylum.
I'll second.
I didn't even ask.
I want it that bad.
Okay, it's all yours. Seconded by Mr. Nocera.
Resolved that Mayor John White is authorized to execute and enter into an agreement with UNS Services, Inc. to provide preventative maintenance and servicing of the HVAC equipment and systems located in the city facilities for 5 years from September 1st, 2022 to August 31st, 2027. Funding fiscal impact $38,300 from the 2022 general budget.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Lulanich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 6 by Councilmember Rautenstrau.
Do we have a second?
I'll take it.
Second by Mr. Nocera.
Whereas a special events application was received by the city clerk from the Church in the Wind for the revival on the canal at Nyawanda Park Band Shell. And whereas the application was reviewed and commented on by all appropriate department heads to ensure the safety and well-being of our residents. And whereas all the details of the above named event must be coordinated with the Parks Director, Amanda Loft, and the event chairperson. Now therefore it be resolved that permission be granted to Church in the Wind to hold their revival on the canal event at Nyawanda Park Band Shell on Saturday, August 6th, 2022, from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And be it further resolved that a certificate of insurance naming the city of Tonawanda as additionally insured be filed with the city clerk no later than July 29th, 2022.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Lulanich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 7 by Councilmember Lulanich.
Second.
I'm sorry, Madam President, who's seconding that one?
Myself.
Okay, thank you. Resolved at the recommendation of the city engineer, Jason J. Lamonaco, P.E., that awarding of design and bid phase services for the City Hall Court Office renovation project be made to Wendell W.D. Architecture, Engineering, Surveying, and Landscape Architecture, PC, at a cost not to exceed $25,875. Funding impact of the $25,875 is from the New York State Court.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Lulanich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 8 by Councilmember Rautenstrau.
Do I have a second?
Oh, no, take it. It's your, is it your people, your area?
Your sanitary
Seconded by Mr. Nocera.
Sorry.
Resolved at the recommendation of the city engineer, Jason J. Lamonaco, P.E., that awarded the contract for the CDBG sanitary sewer linings of Loretta Street, Johnson Street, Broad Street, Fletcher, and Roosevelt Street be made to National Water Main Cleaning Company at a cost not to exceed $118,958. Funding fiscal impact of the $118,958 it's from Erie County.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Lulanich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 9 by Councilmember Nocera.
Do we have a second?
Second, Madam President.
Seconded by Mr. Rautenstrau.
Whereas a special events application was received from the Tonawanda Football Boosters Club by the city clerk for the Tonawanda Football Car Parade on August 27th, 2022. And whereas the application was reviewed and commented on by all appropriate department heads to ensure the safety and well-being of our residents. And whereas all details of the above named event were coordinated with Captain Frederick Foles and the event chairperson. Now therefore it be resolved that permission is granted to conduct the Tonawanda Football Car Parade on Saturday, August 27th, 2022 at 1 p.m.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Olanich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted. Mr. Clerk, I'd like to make a motion to waive readings 10 through 13. Do I have a second?
I'd like to second the motion to let our city clerk off the hook.
Seconded by Mr. Rautenstrau. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
City clerk appreciates that. Resolution number 10 by Councilmember Rautenstrau.
Do we have a second?
I'll take it. Give it a Monica.
I love that one.
Okay, seconded by Ms. Lanich. Comments or questions? Comment, so this is an ordinance change. Any grass or vegetation higher than 10 inches would be subject to our ordinance. It's currently written as 12. Any other comments or questions?
Madam President,
Mr. Armstrong?
I just want to thank everybody for revisiting this. I know we brought this up at the last council meeting. It's something we discussed with our building inspector and code enforcement to maybe be a little more proactive about some of the properties that are unkept. It allows us to act a little bit quicker. And I want to thank him for his work on this back when we first started talking about this.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Armstrong. Comment just to piggyback on that. Every month, the council receives a report on complaints that the code enforcement officer receives and responds to. And there were 75 complaints throughout the city last month relative to high grass. So
Just a quick comment on it also, Madam President, is if you think about it, if you don't cut your grass, we come out and cut it for you if it gets over 10 inches. So the problem was on a consistent basis, well, we'll cut it, charge you $100. Well, you know what? I'm not going to cut it and I'm gonna let the city do it because it's a heck of a lot cheaper than having a company come out and do it. So what was implemented was the fact of $100 for the first cut. If we have to come out again, it's gonna be $250. If we come out again, it's gonna be $500. So now it puts teeth on it. And you know, I know that the really nice old lady around the corner can't do it, then we're gonna have to help them. Somebody's gotta help that person do it. But what we're trying to do is make it fair. So we're not cutting everybody's lawns long. And I think it puts some teeth on it, and I think it's a good resolution to pass. It's okay.
okay. Any other comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Olanich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 11 by Councilmember Olanich.
Do we have a second? Seconded by Mr. Mylum. Comments or questions?
Madam President.
Mr. Armstrong?
Just in addition to the last one, I think this is a great way to, as the mayor said, keep our lawns kept up, give us some more teeth in it, and be able to act on it more, and to further incentivize people, especially non-resident residing property owners, to take care of the property. And not only thank them and thank our building inspector, Eric, on this one as well. I'd also, this came about from conversations with people that live close to these areas that continue to go uncut, that we continue to have to mow for them. And, I'd like to thank the residents for actually making this suggestion and helping us bring this up to the council. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Mrs. Lanich?
Just, I think it was just a clerical error. It seems to read in the third offense and every offense thereafter within 5 years. I believe it should be the sum.
That's correct. So Mrs. Lalonich has made a motion to amend Resolution 11, where it should read for a third offense and every offense thereafter within 5 years, the sum of $500. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Mylum. All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Clerk, did you get that?
Yes, Madam President.
Thank you. All right, any other comments? Good catch, Mrs. Lalonich.
I do have a quick question. Every offense there after 5 years, is it after 5 years, does it go back to?
Yes, so then it
It's
will go
not
back to
progressive
100.
More than 5,
No, correct. Correct,
make that clear.
correct. Any other comments? So just so everyone's aware, so the first offense for grass higher than 10 inches would be $100. For the second offense within 5 years, the sum would be $250. And for a third offense and every offense after that for 5 years would be $500. Any other comments? Please call the roll.
Lalonich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 12 by Councilmember Rautenstrau.
Do we have a second?
I'll take.
Seconded by Mr. Mylum. Comments or questions? So comment, this resolution, we've added that the totes carry a 10-year warranty. And if you were to call DPW to request a new tote, the cost would be $75. And then in addition, the other amendment to this ordinance is that all waste is to be collected by the city shall be placed for collection by 5:30 a.m. The current ordinance says 6 a.m. Any other comments?
Just so residents know, the $75, do they go down to DPW to pay that, or does the mayor's office, or how would they, or does that get added to taxes? What
They would- They would call the DPW to request it and then it gets added to their,
Madam
And
President.
they pay for it in person.
oh, that's not correct.
Madam President, they actually come into the clerk's office to pay it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Clerk.
Just so everybody knows how to go about that. I'll put that on my.
So they would call the clerk's office to request a new tote? Or they would go
Actually-
down to the clerk's office and pay for the new tote? Okay. Sorry, Gina, I just probably added extra work to your agenda there a little bit. So don't call Gina. Okay. Any other comments or questions? Okay, please call the roll.
Lalonich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 13 by the council, seconded by the council.
Comments or questions? Okay, I'll comment first. I'd like to thank the council, the city attorney, the mayor. I know that this resolution, usually we adopt much earlier, but we have been having conversations with the Canal Fest Corporation since January, and I believe all of our questions have been answered and everything's been ironed out. So Canal Fest will be a go starting July 17th through July 24th. I'd also like to thank Rick Mayer and Pete Chenier, who worked with us on our questions and helped get this answered for us. So there's a lot of whereas and a lot of legal ease in here, just so the community knows. The Canal Fest Corporation will pay the city a sum of $25,000. That'll be payable to our city treasurer. Any other comments or questions?
Did they decide on, is that a one lump sum or is that gonna be?
It'll be paid out, I believe it's 3 installments, but yes, it is in here. It should be 3
Oh, yeah.
installments.
Yep, so number 13.
Yes.
Yep, so.
Yeah.
13 on page 9, I didn't get that for a reading.
Okay, Anything else? Any other comments or
They're
questions?
still accepting nonprofit applications.
Yes, definitely. I think some of the biggest changes to Canal Fest this year, just so everybody knows, there's not a parade. There will be a craft show. The cost of food has obviously increased. They do have, as of the last meeting, they had 14 vendors, food vendors that have committed. They had 7 that were pending. And, you know, the campus in the city will be relatively smaller than what it was used to, but the adult rides will be on North Tonawanda side. The kiddie rides will be on the city of Tonawanda side. And then they'll be promoting their events on their website. Great question. Any other comments or questions? Okay, please call the roll.
Olanich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted. At this time, we'll now take comments by the public following the resolutions. For those that are joining us virtually, there's a spot for you to raise your hand. Please do so, and the clerk will call upon you. For those that are joining us in person, please approach the microphone. Mr. Clerk, any comments or questions from those that are joining us virtually?
Madam President, at this time, I do not show anyone from the Zoom call looking to make any comments at this time.
Hearing none. Mr. Nocera. Let's start with you.
Going first?
Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you. Madam President, I'd like just to mention a few words, mostly about past weekend. And it's good to see that we have come together as a unit again and decided to table the resolution and encompass everything that we were all thinking about. And seeing this proposal resolution come to fruition and making sure that that goes forward as far as that. The fishing derby past Saturday was phenomenal. I took my 4-year-old granddaughter and she had a blast. Of course, the wind and the weather, a little uncooperative in the beginning of it, but it was fantastic. The kids had a great time. There were some amazing fish pulled out of that river. The kids, they worked, especially near some of the shoreline where the rocks are. There was this one young man and he was determined to pull that little rock bass in and he got it in. I believe it was the first prize, first place, 11-inch, and he did a great job. The prizes that were donated by the sponsors were phenomenal. There was at least a 16-foot section that was just filled with fishing equipment for the kids to take their choice of. And it was just great. I'd like to thank everybody involved with that. Fireman's Parade Day was also Saturday. And as we were in it and going through the Tonawandas, I happened to notice that there were many more people in attendance for that parade than in a few past years. It was really nice to see. And I hope that next year's parade in the attendance is up just a little bit as well. And I want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting your career and your volunteer firemen on that day.
And we ran out of candy.
And you ran out of candy. Next year, you have to buy 50 pounds.
All right, thank you, Mr. Nocera. Mrs. Lalanich.
I'll take this quick opportunity to thank our school districts, our school resource officer, Officer Jason Balling, and any of our city businesses that contributed for the successful prom after party that was held at the Eldridge Bicycle Club. That was nice to see that event back, and it was attended well and the kids were safe. So I thought that was a wonderful, wonderful occasion. And to that end, our school district is planning for another graduation this upcoming Thursday at 6 o'clock. I think if the weather cooperates, it will be held on the Clint Small football field in the stands. So if you see a lot of cars up there, that's why. There's a lot of good things happening.
Thank you, Mrs. Lalanich. Mr. Ronstra.
I don't really have much to add, other than I just want to piggyback on what Carl said in regards to this resolution that we tabled in regards to Juneteenth. I think it's important enough. I think it's something we need to work together on. We brought it to the table. I'm encouraged to see the enthusiasm by the entire council and the support, but I do agree that we could make it better by collaborating together and putting all of our ideas in here to before we pass this. So thank you, everybody, for working on this together.
Thank you, Mr. Ronstadt. Mr. Mylum.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd just like to piggyback on what Mr. Rottenstrau said about this resolution. I understand it was a last minute ad, and I think it was kind of due to the urgency of the situation, but in the spirit of collaboration and getting this done for the city, I'm happy to say that we're all going to work together on it. I'd also like to say thank you to the fire department for the wonderful parade. I wasn't able to stay. I was pretty under the weather on Saturday, or was it Saturday? It was
Yes.
Saturday. But in my time as a volunteer, there was always a second Christmas, and that was the first. It was kind of the what we referred to parade day as. It was just a great time, and the trucks look good. Everybody looked good, and thank you for your service.
Thank you, Mr. Mylum. Mayor?
Thank you, Madam President. Fishing Derby, yes, it was a ball. It was nice. I was only there a short time, but I just thank all the workers that helped out. It's a lot of work to go all year working on that, trying to make it happen. But just to watch the kids, their face when they catch a fish, doesn't matter how big it is. So a kid, was this big, this big. But they said it was this big. But it was a good time. They enjoyed it. Just to get them out of the house, that was a whole reason for planning it. 26, 25 years ago was the fact of get them out of the house, get them away from their phones, get away from their computers, and it works. And it was a nice event. I had to leave early, but I had to leave early from the event. They had Carl drive me around in a car for the parade, but they changed drivers at the last minute, so thank you, Carl. It was nice that changed.
I was ready.
It was a very nice parade. It was nice to see everybody out there. The kids on both sides, Tonawanda and in North Tonawanda. It was very, very, very nice. Back to the weekend. I'm not gonna point fingers. All I'm gonna say is this: everybody up here is pushed and brought into this for the community. We're responsible. We're responsible for every decision we make for the best interest of this community. And we've got work to do. There's no doubt about it. But you know what? We got a black eye right now. We got a black eye that we are bad people in the city town. We are not. We are good people with good hearts. You know what? Show it. Now it's time for us to show it. What we do from here forward is, first of all, you don't just take the day off. We can't. There's consequences for everything we do. And dollars and cents is one of the big ones. And we've learned that in the past. So bottom line is, through collective bargaining, through working with our unions, we can make something intelligent and good happen for next year. That's all we're saying. We're going to work as a group and do other things too. And form committees to help it. An education process has to take place. We're in a predominantly white community. Come on. Does anybody, we really need to work at this. And yes, there's been mistakes made all the way around. There's no doubt about it. But what we need to do is go forward with the mindset that, you know what? We need some help. We're going to make this work. I was on almost every news station over the weekend. Not that I wanted to be, but you know what? I was proud to be. You know, darn it, I was proud to be on those news stations and say, you know what? Next year, I'll put this on the docket. We'll go through collective bargaining and we will make this happen. I felt so good doing that because I was strong that that's what's going to happen. But on the other hand, the damage has been done. So now how we correct it? Well, you know what? I said, what I'm willing to do is bring in speakers from UB, other areas, have a festive event at the new Canal Street and call it our Juneteenth Education Day. I'm willing to do that with this group. Maybe we can put something together again, but an education process has to start. And I'm sorry, like anything else, it starts from the top down. That's right here. That's right here in this room. Okay. With some help, direction, assistance from our Parks, Recs, DPW, Fire, Police, absolutely. So are we all have a little bit of blame? Yes, we do. everybody in the room too, because we need to do an education process. And we're gonna start it, but we need to move forward. And I'm willing to do that. And in that room back there, we made a decision to do that. Okay, so if I'm willing to do it, they're willing to do it, we're all willing to do it. All we're saying is let's move forward and make it happen. Madam President?
Thank you, Mayor. I want to wish a happy anniversary to Twin City Deli. And just remind everybody that they're in the process of opening their second location in Grand Island. So that's congratulations to them. Recently, I had a meeting with some representatives from Roswell Park, and we discussed several initiatives within the city of Tonawanda. They're moving forward on some grant opportunities and working with other municipalities. One of the things that they did is they are providing signs for the garden walk. And they're beautiful signs. They dropped them off to the Visual and Performing Arts. So you'll see these nice signs that will be displayed at the garden walk. And I just want to thank Roswell Park. We'll be meeting with them in the future to discuss more initiatives that they do have for the city of Tonawanda. So it was a wonderful partnership. This week, Food Trucks Thursday is happening from 5 to 8. They have 12 food trucks scheduled in music, so it sounds like it's going to be a great night. I'd like to thank everybody who attended the TNT parade. It was certainly well attended. Thank you to the organizers. Yes, I did run out of candy on behalf of Carl. I think he ate more than he tossed out, but I'm not going to go there. But obviously next year we'll have more candy. I just want to remind everybody that early voting is taking place and it will end on June 26th. And our city hall is a polling location. So please, if you can, take advantage of early voting. And certainly congratulations to all our Tonawanda graduates. The sky's the limit for you. With that said, I would like to make a motion to end our formal session, and the council will resume in our caucus. We'll be meeting with the cemetery board. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Milam. All right. So please join us in the caucus room.
No, I meant, no, I meant. Yeah, I didn't mean to score. I didn't.
So as Madam President indicated, the formal session is now ended. The council is going to go in the caucus room to meet with the cemetery board at this time.
Okay. All right. So just so everybody knows,
May I return this to the cemetery board? This was found in the mayor's office when the mayor took office. It's a World War II marker.
yes,
Not, or World War I actually, marker that is not placed on the deceased veteran's grave. I have the location and it needs to be placed.
absolutely.
So,
Thanks, Sharon.
Thank you, Sharon.
thank you. Sorry. for the-
No, thank you, thank you.
I bet between you and I, we can take care of that. Is that screwed in or just? Yeah, I was gonna say. Supposed to be the screws. We can get.
So by way of an explanation, we are meeting with the cemetery board. So thank you, gentlemen, for coming.
Okay, I think I'm gonna throw this here. Not the greatest, it may or may not work. First of all, my name is Ron Snyder, lifelong city of Tonawanda resident. Proud City 5 alumni with Mr. White and Mr. Rule. Mr. Rule and I grew up right down the street from each other, right?
Yeah.
Over there. So anyways, I'm besides Parish Council President at St. Francis, I've been volunteering at St. Francis Cemetery for 20 years. And I will always argue to the day I die, that the reason St. Francis Cemetery looks better than others is because nobody gets paid. There's 4 of us, we're all volunteers. Always get paid. We come and go, we please, work for you. So anyways, to start off, Bob and I had a great meeting with Mandy and John yesterday. We got a lot of things cleared up and moving in the right direction. And the purpose of tonight's meeting is not to beat her to death because she has limited funds, limited workforce, limited equipment, and so many hours in the day. So I wanted to go over some things that our volunteer group wants to get started on. And do some things. So I just wanted to show some, but probably one of the things our group really wants to start working on. Right. And this is probably just pretty fast practice, not, that's the way it's always been done. When the grass gets tall in spring and it's warm and dry enough to start driving, they start cutting grass without weed growing. Which, I guess cemetery 101 is just not the way to do it. So we're having a lot of stones and I imagine. And so we're having a lot of stones, but the big thing that gets hit, that's the tableau stone that got hit and actually sheared off the, you can see where it used to sit. But anyways, big thing are these corner marks. Back in the day, a family would buy a large plot and put 10, 12, even more burials in one spot. And in each corner, there would be 4x4 or 6x6 granite marker. It had the last name of the initial of the surname on there. And over the years, typically when they go on the ground, they're 6 or 8 inches above the surface. And eventually over time, they start sinking. And now they're basically landmines. So besides this, the stones getting damaged, I know the machines are getting damaged also. So our group really wants to be able to come in there and say somehow that we can help out in the spring and go around and find them. What we do at St. Francis is if we have something like we've got ground under repair, we got a hole we're working on or something like that, we put utility flags because we get new people working the mowers too, and I'm quite sure the civic does. Okay, and there's got to be at least 150 of them. So the thing that we want to do is start digging them out and raising them. We have plenty of stone and sand to do that. Okay, there's one you just barely can see the S on it. It's not from me either. So tree stumps. We've got probably 15 to 20 different size tree stumps all over the cemetery. Some are huge. Some are little bush stumps that have been, that Parks and Recreation has taken down some old wild growth and shrubs and things like that. As again, this is something our work group can do without tools or without power tools, of course. Now this is our famous tree at the south end. This picture is 4 years old. So what actually ended up happening was the tree started swallowing the stone. That's actually growing around it. 2.5 years ago, that tree came down.
with the stone still in the city came in, and the miraculous thing was it came down and landed on another stone about 4 feet tall and did this. So the city came in, Parks and Recreation came in, and they cut it up. Yeah, 90% of it, that's what we have now. The stump is still there, something we know that is on our list. The stone is still there. The stone is actually still upside down. It got pushed into the ground when the tree went over. But just another one of these things that we're looking forward to get started. Now, this happens every year. And again, it's just limited hours, limited resources. This was about a week ago. And it happens every year. And there's, especially at the south end of the cemetery, it's normally very wet down there because there are lots of trees along the fence line on Park Avenue there. And it gets very, very little bit of sun and it gets really wet. All right, this is the park where, and again, this won't last very long. This picture is a great representation of what's happening. And these are people who have sacrificed either their lives or their opportunity for our country. And this is the number one thing that our group wants to take on beginning this year. Matter of fact, when we went over last week, we've got 5 of them that we popped out of the ground. And because they were either sunken or crooked, whatever, and they're going to be cleaned. But this is just not a representation of what we should be doing as far as our veterans.
No.
It's just not right. That's from Korea. We actually have people from War of 1812 buried there. So, all right, 2 weeks ago, we had wonderful recommendations for and well deserved for Mr. Pelosi and Squire Stafford. You know who that is. That's Squire. Not very pretty. Again, it's just a matter of us getting in there and getting some work done and getting. All right, this is where I get to. Everybody asked me why I'm so passionate about cemetery work and about veterans and things like that. That's my son. That's Mr. Sergeant Ryan Snyder. 3 months ago, I have 20 years. He went in, graduated in June, and was in San Antonio in August. And because he was an Eagle Scout, he graduated with an extra stripe. And because he was an Eagle Scout and a group leader, him along with 7 other Eagle Scout members got flown back to Washington, D.C. to become presidential honor guards. Matter of fact, he beat us back to the East Coast. He was in Washington Monday morning, and we were still in the air. And the reason he did this wasn't 9/11 or anything like that. My father-in-law was a Master Sergeant Marine Corps in World War II. Some of you may be aware of the old TV show about Black Sheep, called Famous Fighter Pilot Captain Plankton. My father-in-law was a chief mechanic in his plane. My father-in-law spent 3.5 years in the South Pacific. Didn't get to meet his son, his firstborn, until the kid was almost 3 years old. So my son wanted to emulate my father-in-law and go in service. So anyways, picture on the left is the guy on the left in black and white is my father-in-law in the South Pacific working on the Corsair. And then 3 years ago, when they had one of the air shows here, that same type of plane was here in Niagara Falls, and my son recreated the picture. Okay. So my son's now a Master Sergeant also, but in the Air Force. So anyways, when my son was in Washington, he became a presidential honor guard. And his main duty was doing Paradise Arlington. So my son, it was only supposed to be a 1-year stint, ended up being 4 years. Because typically, once you do that job for a year, you get moved out. He did it for 4 years. That's Ronald Reagan's casket. My son was on the burial team for Ronald Reagan. Okay. And that's why and I see veteran stumps that aren't cared for. That's my son in Arlington at the far end there, on the rifle team. So, that's why I'm so, I guess, passionate about what's going on Main Street. We're gonna end this part on a good note. I reached out to the local painters union in Buffalo. Outreach program. They are coming to repaint all the
Wow.
names on all 4 signs.
That's awesome.
We're gonna be doing that. Matter of fact, Sherwin Williams is donating the special paint.
What happened to it, Ron? What was it old age? or
Old
somebody
age.
Painted over it?
No, well, Fred probably knows the story about somebody years ago painted the whole thing silver. It should have never been painted silver.
That's what I mean.
When Ed Ringler was in charge of the DPW, he would regularly paint that monument.
Yeah, it's never.
Kept it very, very beautiful. But of course, the lettering didn't show up.
Yeah, so they're gonna come out and repaint all the lettering on there. Very good question. How much did it cost? When it went up in 1902? Was it the date on there? $2,300. All right, so we have $10,000.
Okay,
I guess we'll call that old money, right?
okay.
And there was no money in the budget this year. So my mistake was I way underestimated the cost of a shed. We need a shed. We've got to have a building, to put tools in, equipment. We already have a cup cut tractor, not for cutting grass, but for hauling dirt and trailer and tools around, stuff like that. That was donated by somebody. But we need a building. And I way underestimated. So after my looking around, we're somewhere between $8,500 and $11,000 for last thing we want to do is put it too small a building, because then you're either going to build another shed or just jam to the rafters. So we're looking at a 12 by 28 shed that gets built off site and then gets put in with a mule, bring it in about 4x4s. But that's our budget for this year. So I kind of started thinking about Plan B, and Plan B would be, Mr. Bill Reese helped me out here. Plan B would be to spend about $1,500 this year. Topsoil, grass seed, fertilizer, things of that nature for working on gravestones and start filling in some of the just huge sinkholes that we've got. And we were going to spend about $1,500 this year. Hopefully save that $8,500 for next year to get a building. And we continue that gives us a building and those tools, and who knows what the funding is going to look like next year. And the other thing I want to backtrack a little bit with our meeting with John and Andy yesterday is John's going to work with the union. We want to be able to take care of the 2,400 square feet around the Civil War monument and all the stones there. We want to be able to go in there and mow that, trim that, and keep it looking, because it needs to be cut more than every 3 weeks or so. So John has offered to look into that, see if he'll give us. So what Bill suggested, why should we take $1,500 out of our budget for regular parks and recreation supplies, like topsoil, grass seed, and things like that? It doesn't make sense. So we're on to Plan C, which means 6 of you in the next couple of weeks or so have the ability to take a big leap and say, let's do it all. Let's get the building, the tools. We need water. Bill has a great thing about Heritage Park. The original water line came in right where the gateway is over the cemetery. That's where the water line came in. And that's long been abandoned and probably not even hooked up to the current name. However, Bill suggested that where Heritage Park was where Coco's was. More than likely, there is still a water box there, which would save lots of money to begin with. Something the engineering staff and Erie County Water would have to investigate. The big thing, like we did at St. Francis, we didn't have water for years and for decades. There used to be water all through the cemetery, just like Mount Olivet has. And of course, it all deteriorated, went away. And so what we did, we went off Kohler Street we're about 7 feet from the street, ran a new line. We've got a hydrant just inside the fence, and we have a water trailer, and we haul around with our tractor for watering grass, seed, flowers, and whatever things that we've got going in. So the idea that, we can get a hydrant inside the fence by Heritage Park, get it on the cemetery property, within a few feet, as long as we can pull up to it and draw water on it. And we only, at St. Francis, we use about $150 a year of water. And it's not, there's no sewer tax because it's the agricultural, we're growing headstones, growing marble orchards. So back to, we can either get a shed this year and wait next year and wait for tools and wait for supplies and wait, or you guys can do something about this. Because I understand, I know we have American Rescue Plan money that's coming to talk, and I think we have an opportunity to fix some of these serious problems, because, it shouldn't look like that.
What was the total cost that
The
you're,
water?
that you're looking for with the building, the tools, the supplies?
You won't know the water, of course, until we investigate that.
Yeah, Jason has to look into that.
I
Did-
understand.
Yeah.
So-
Well, it cost, when we did the water at St. Francis, it was about $6,000. Mark told me that.
Did we speak to Jason to confirm?
I'm talking
Okay.
tomorrow, investigate, but, I mean, you're not going as far, you went further, we're only going on the other side of the fence.
Right.
We just don't know how far it is, or if it's even operable.
So,
I don't know if it was capped out, Jason.
and that was seasonal water, it gets turned on, turned off over the years, not all year also, they're all in one. I'd have to say 10,000 for the shed and another 5 for tools, equipment. Lots of shovels, and what I'm doing now, I'm ferrying it back and forth between St. Francis and made 10 trips Saturday. Bringing tools, shovels, hoist jacks, dog jacks, things like that for moving stones around. And we're, the church allows me to do that. They don't have a problem with it. I can't tell you how many times a water trailer made a trip across Main Street and watered stuff in the city center. And probably a couple of dump truck loads of soil that I've used over the years, and Father Mike never had a problem. He didn't care. So we have an opportunity to do something about the cemetery, and I look forward to it with John and Mandy of solving some of the problems there, and know had some pictures on Facebook and crap like that, and starting fights and stuff like that. I want to get this thing done. I think all those veterans that, and we're gonna start working on those this week as far as cleaning, we have a special cleaner that biodegradable cleaner that we use in mines, Washington DC. Only one problem was $48 a gallon, and I know we had one that maybe got us to get out next year. And we're gonna get started cleaning those stones and then resetting them. Unless we reset them in the ground. So the first thing we're looking to do is hopefully within the next 2 weeks, topsoil, grass seed, things like that. I'll supply the tools and things like that. But I want to get started. One of the things that I started thinking about when I put this together, I could have put dozens of pictures from 2014 in there. When we were having 50, 60 people show up, and we were making great progress. Well, I don't want to go back. I want to go this way. I want to start doing something up there. And if we have to work with the union or side by side with them, whatever it's going to take, we want to get it. We want to be that's Civil War money that needs to be a centerpiece for that cemetery. So,
How many people do you have working with you? Are we seeing the whole, everybody here?
10 times. Sometimes we'll get 10, 12 people. Sometimes too many people is a problem because you got to supervise and stuff. So, and the only thing I mentioned to John was have Bob signed the new annual agreement. That has to be done. We really shouldn't even be in there doing anything unless we have a signed agreement between the city and the volunteer group. So,
Jim, oh, I'm so sorry. Jim, can you forward the previous agreement to the council and the mayor
Previous agreement with the,
with the cemetery board?
For the
Cemetery.
volunteers?
Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
Yeah, it's 2020. So I Kathy's name on it.
Once you make a fix, about how long does that stay? I mean, is it
These stones will look like the day they come out of the quarry.
No, I mean, when you pull them out of the ground and set them again.
Yeah.
But for how long will that? last?
Decades.
Decades, or we?
They will last decades. And we'll do some bigger stones too, and show you what you're capable of doing, even with some little tiny hardened wedges, you'll be surprised. We're not pouring any foundation, we're not doing any of that stuff, but typically, see, back in the day, there was no regulations. There was no concrete vaults, everything was in boxes, and this event, that's why you get this big roller coaster effect in cemetery, because eventually everything collapses. We call them spine snappers, because when you go over with a lawnmower at the right angle,
Feel it.
we'll give you a shot, okay?
No thanks.
Yeah. So anyways, well, back in the day, they dig a hole, Fred can attest to that. They dig a hole and throw in bricks, and I found all kinds of stuff in there, in the hole, bricks and a bag of concrete and lots of glass. And then throw the stone in and walk away and say that would be good for 100 years. And the next thing you know, they're over. So,
So you're looking at about 15,000?
yes.
That's.
Right. Yeah. Jimmy J's neighbor.
I am.
I saw him this afternoon.
Did you?
You know where he was?
Oh, I know, he was all the
St.
time.
Francis Cemetery.
He's there all the time.
That's right. You good with that?
We get the shirt off his back there.
That's my,
Say it's 15 on top of it, it's
No.
15, and we'll leave it 10 there for the other.
Right.
Five on top of it. Right. but I think
We don't
we're
wanna
asking
zero
for
it out,
15
yeah.
Because that's, it's the maintenance, it's gonna be a city building.
Do we, what line are we looking at?
There's a cemetery line. We just have to react to it.
So what line are we looking at taking from or amending into the cemetery line?
It's not saying I don't have it.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll get back to you.
very good. Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks for you.
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Very informative. And I did take the tour. I did go back.
What's
Park,
that?
and I walked around. It's very large. It's larger than I thought.
Yeah.
Because it goes back further from Main Street than what I thought. I know where you want to put the building. That would probably be the best place.
Yeah, the north end. of the turnaround, yeah. Yeah, so, it needs work, but you'd be amazed. Except me and my friends have fixed, well, now it's 841 stones after yesterday. I fixed another one yesterday at St. Francis. We fixed 841 stones in the last 12 to 15 years. You can see the difference. That's the big thing. You guys have ever seen between St. Francis.
He's doing a great job.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
I always had a long day, so I'm done talking.
All right, does anybody have anything for around the room? Anything with the Youth Bureau?
I'm good.
Just that they're the August 5th family camp,
We're still, yeah, we're still meeting. August-
the August 5th family camp out up at Betts Park. They'll be reconvening for a special youth bureau meeting sometime in July to finalize all the plans and so forth. So that'll be forthcoming.
Hi, Fred.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
thank you. Thanks so much. Do they need anything from the council?
They, if the council would like to consider sponsoring juice and donuts, that would be appreciated, or any type of sponsored, items for s'mores. I think they're planning on doing packets, like doing a bag, so that, and providing it to each family,
yeah,
so they're not
yeah.
having like some, giant thing like that. It's just,
Oh,
if you
okay,
want to make them, if you,
okay.
yeah, so that you kind of have more containment on
Yeah.
that.
Do you want to
Make-
ask the
make
Youth
them-
Bureau?
Make this more second.
No, just kind of put all the
Oh,
items
the
in a bag
ingredients.
and then provide that and let that be.
Do you want to ask the Youth Bureau what we can do to support? Okay, and then just let us know. I think we're all on board, right?
I know they're reaching out to all kinds of community businesses and so forth and trying to drum up stuff like that.
Yes.
Garden walk, we have an admin. that
Yes.
We do all of this.
Oh, yes, we do.
Kids are there.
I did not. I just wanted.
Yeah, if I don't do
Yeah.
it like right then on the
I
spot.
know, I forget.
It's a mess.
Well, you with interest now.
Yeah.
What do I owe? Double?
$500.
You have to take out your ad.
Yours was a full page on your.
Yeah, you had to do a full plate.
Yeah,
You did an ad?
Please let me know.
yeah. I know we had a touch on that.
Oh, you did one? You did full page?
No,
I just sent a guy later. but
I
he
want to
was-
see my bets.
Did anybody do an individual ad?
I did 3.
You did 3?
Sean Rottenstrop, $25, garden walk ad, May 5th, boom.
There it is.
All right.
I still gotta check with them.
22nd through the 23rd?
They still have time.
22nd is
Of
the
July.
Friday Night Lights.
Yes, is that a Friday?
Saturday is the 10 to 4.
Okay.
I do have some numbers I can just share, so y'all
Yes.
can ruminate on this, as far as the, considering the possibility of visiting the residency. I just gathered data for the fire and police
Okay.
civil service exams, because those are our 2 largest holdings by far, as far as civil service exams. And I asked for data from the most recent exams and then the next. So for fire, we'll start there. In 2016, and they had exams in 2016 and 2020. And I can share, I'll email y'all this information. In 2016, there were 60 total applicants, whether they were residents or non-residents. Of the 60, 20 at that time were residents of Tonawanda. After all 60 were invited to take the physical agility test, 38 completed or passed the physical agility. So only 38 could be considered for appointment at that point. Of the 38, only 14 were residents. Within 4 years, only four appointments occurred from that list, and all 4 were residents. 2020 fire exam, 68 total applicants, only 8 of them were residents. So it's a significant decrease.
Can I ask of those? Is it only those 8 people then that move on?
Basically,
They can be
because we have a
selected,
residency
'cause we have the
requirement. So we
residency.
only provide residents to the,
So can I
So
ask?
because
one
the chief
resident
typically
before-
asks.
You have
Sorry,
to be a resident before you can be
No.
considered for hire, or do you have to be a resident within a certain amount of time?
for the 2016 exam, they had to be residents within, at time of application for the exam.
Okay, so
On the
is that-
2020 exam, that was changed because the commission saw that we needed people, so they made it, anyone could take us, had to be a resident within, I think, 4 months of certification. Certification in civil service language means at the time we canvass you and provide the results of that canvas to the hiring authority. So that's when you had to be a resident by 4 months prior to that. So if you heard, hey, I think retirement's coming, you could, and I know some individuals did kind of establish residency with that intent. But of the 8 residents in the 2020 fire exam, of the 68 total, only 12 passed the agility. And of the 8 residents, only 3 were residents passed the agility.
Wow.
So 1 resident was hired, and I was told 1 non-resident was hired in the fire from that eligible list.
But they had to move? in
No, fire they have an exemption. Fire and sanitation workers
Okay,
there's a state exemption for them. They
Okay.
do not have to reside within any municipality.
okay,
And we do have some sanitation workers, not many, goodness, maybe 2 or 3, maybe at the
Okay.
most, that reside outside of city limits, but they
Okay.
can only work sanitation. If they move anywhere else in the DPW or Parks and Rec, they have to reestablish residency.
question.
Mhm.
What are the commissioners' position on this?
They're open to discussing it. I mean, they've always, well, in my tenure with just the commission, And they have continued it. They're open to anybody taking their tests. That's why we had the numbers we have. I mean, most of these are non-residents. We have people from all over the state taking our tests that are willing to move, for the job, but it's not
Can I ask
likely.
another question? So if I'm going to take a firefighter test,
Mhm.
I'm a city resident, it's X dollars. If I'm a non-resident, is it the same
Same
amount?
amount. Uniformed tests, fire and police tests, they're like $17.50. We have the lowest exam rates in the state. And then,
Okay,
non-uniform, it's like $12.50.
okay.
So cost is typically not a.
Can
issue.
can we change that rate?
The commission can
The
change
commission
it.
can, the commission
Mhm.
sets the rates. So the commission could set a rate for a city resident and a non-resident?
They could. They could,
It wouldn't be against any civil service law?
not that I'm aware of.
Okay,
So by
But-
raising the rate, do we discourage people from taking the exam?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
well,
our costs are truly, Erie County, it's $20.
I don't
for
wanna-
For non-uniformed, and I think it's higher for uniformed.
I don't want to discourage anyone from taking the test, but I don't, I
But
want to
there's
make
fee
sure that,
waivers too. To be fair, our, I can even get more data
no,
on how
it's not
many were,
necessary. I
had
was just
application
spitballing.
fee waivers, but I know our commission, if you say you can't afford it, they're not gonna
Yeah.
stop you or, collect. Some municipalities make you prove that you can't.
Okay.
That's exactly,
Charge somebody to take an exam.
And then not- yeah.
to get employment, exactly.
Right.
So that's not an issue.
My question, I'm just wanting to make sure I'm clear.
Uh-oh.
So are you suggesting we waive residency entirely?
Mhm.
Is that what you're?
That's my ultimate.
No, I got you.
Yes,
And I'm not against, I don't mean to come across against it. I think
No.
there's.
but just,
a lot of
yes, you can
benefits to that.
understand.
Really, one of the big negatives is a lot of people bought houses, they spent money to live here, they had to.
Mhm.
And now we're gonna change it, that anybody,
Oh, but the goal is that you want to, that you
Right.
choose to,
right, that you choose.
that there is more of a benefit to choosing. But
As far as other municipalities have looked at that,
Mhm.
does that open up in other municipalities, especially smaller communities like yourselves? Where you open up that for?
I have not had time, that this is just the first baby step in
Sure.
presenting my case, but that is my goal, is to gather that type of information.
I mean,
Mhm.
just in like, but
But I know it was recommended. I know Maria, I had Maria, who is the current civil service executive secretary, and she did discuss this topic with members of the New York State Civil Service Department. And they were kind of, I guess she said, shocked that we still, a municipality of our size, had a residency requirement.
I mean, from talks around these.
Yeah, the board-
Police
that-
reform, yeah.
Yep.
Some talks this week. I'm the opinion that opens up,
Mm-hmm.
university that opens up. the amount.
I will say,
Yeah.
just of the number, all right, I'm just gonna give you the police numbers because they're even more staggering. 2017, we had 140 total applicants.
Wow.
34 of them were residents. 57 total, of those 140, 57 passed the agility. 17 of those were residents. 6 of those residents were ultimately hired. In 2021, 212 people took our tests. Only 16 of them were residents.
Hmm.
Now, of the 212, now everybody gets invited to the agility test. And if they can't make it, and they take an agility test in Rochester or City of Kingston or Albany, they can send those results to us and we will accept those results because it's the same standard set by the municipal's police commission or something. 65 total out of the 212 passed the physical agility, only 5 residents passed. Mhm. And only 5 were residents. And 2 of those residents were recently have been appointed. I think they just came off of graduated from the academy. So already we're down to 3 residents. And that test was it's not even a year old, that list. So it's, when I worked in that office, I saw firsthand, because I administered the exams, the diversity of the pool of candidates. And it was every walk of life kind of thing. And we had very motivated individuals that were in our neighboring communities of Buffalo. Cheektowaga, Depew. But because they were not residents, the first time at the time of exam, when the chief called for a residents only list, they were never going to be able to be an actual candidate.
But you're definitely saying, you're not saying pull from the list of residents, only, you're saying.
I'm saying mix it, just let us do that. And
Interesting. I mean, I think there's two different schools of thoughts on that, especially the police
Mhm.
department. You know, you want people from your neighborhood that are aware, but I think that's more in an urban area where they're interacting with kids and people in more urban areas. But then there's also the mentality, you know, with working at the kid, that was part of your assignment after finishing the Quantico.
Mhm.
If you don't go to your hometown, you know, it gives too much of an opportunity for corruption, for bribery, and for interacting with people, whereas you're coming in someplace new. You're not going to.
you don't have those types of.
Yeah.
That case with, Patrick Bach, this guy that was from the area. They worked with Spring Sand.
You're put in a position and it's like where, yeah, it's
So, I mean, I do-
difficult.
I do like the idea. My other question, is this something that has changed the charter, the law, or is this a union negotiation?
That's not,
So-
that's the part I'm unsure of.
Well, in our policy manual, we'll
It
have to
references
review.
that, But it's
Yes.
not in the charter, it's in the.
No, it's in the
policy.
policy
That's
manual.
okay, so that,
So council resolution,
There's definitely council resolution.
it's in the policy
Okay.
manual. Also, I'd love to see a resolution from the commissioners in support of this action. So when you next meet with them,
Okay.
and if we just want to round with our department heads to get their feedback on it, and then,
because I
Maybe
know,
we should-
I've talked to, Joe Wortley, and he has concerns because he had a situation where one of his foremen, who has since retired, had lived in Niagara County. And not terribly far into Niagara County, but the weather was different there than it was here, and he was making a judgment call that wasn't accurate for our city. And he is very concerned of that happening again. Because that, could put his resources and so forth in a situation that it's wasted. So I know he has concerns about that piece. I know police chief has some concerns. But I'm just gonna gather more data and present it.
Alright.
First.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, that would
Oh,
be
yeah.
a CBA.
It's a huge factor.
Yeah.
That would,
I'm-
you'd also negotiate that in the
But you're
CBA.
right, both Strasburg and Jordan. That's
Yep.
what I talked to.
So we would piecemeal it and do it citywide, or we just do it just targeted, just certain unions and job titles? What's
Well,
the-
I think
I think
we're
it should be
too
consistent.
small to do this, but not
Right.
that, because we already have this and not
Right.
that.
Right.
We already have sanitation and fire, but we also have specially, the mayor
Waivers.
can waive.
Right.
And we have several unique individuals that have those waivers in place. And it's just hard to say, I'm looking for consistency, where everyone's given the same.
Certainly it invites casting a bigger net and more inclusion or with
Which is what we all want.
with a more variety, if you will.
So we can look, all of our departments can look like, because our community is changing. The school
Oh, absolutely.
population is changing. And it would be
I love it.
great to have
I love it.
all of our departments.
So
reflect that.
just thinking, so we would have to change the policy manual. We
Which
have
is already, I think, that's
Well,
a work in progress.
Yes.
We're on page what, 30?
But we're
And,
on page 40.
I know.
and the collective bargaining agreement. So at your next union
Yep.
leadership
Third
meeting,
Wednesday. Yep, next month.
if you want to bring this up and then you can meet with the commissioners. Council can talk to the department heads and we can regroup on that. How's that sound?
I like it. Something we should do.
Did you have anything else?
No, thank you very much.
Mr. Nocera,
Done, sir.
Mr. Elstra?
Position.
Okay, I just have two things. I'll be really quick. The American Legion is soliciting, they're doing a basket raffle during Canal Fest. And they're reaching out to solicit for donations, baskets, monies, any donations that we'd like to do. With the council, mayor, would we like to put a basket together? Would we like to donate? What would we like?
We already put a big basket together.
You did a
from-
basket?
From there.
Okay, so with the council, would we like to do a basket? Would we like to do a donation?
I would say donate to a central person.
Yes,
I have no creative
Yeah.
ability.
yes.
Mine was together like a great looking basket. I'm surprised.
Yeah, mine would be,
Commerce store.
okay.
I would absolutely.
That'd be so awesome though. And here's from the Common Council.
I know. Staples guy, yeah, that's not my forte.
If we.
But I
did,
do
you know,
like that
if-
idea, though, of-
We could perhaps do a couple different, 3 different
Like businesses,
gift
like
certificates.
for
from
our local
businesses,
businesses.
from
Yeah,
children.
Yes,
love
that's a
that
great
idea.
idea. That's a good idea.
Support the local.
Yes, they are
Like a
seeking
breakfast,
donations
a
of
lunch, and a dinner, like a, I don't know, like a,
basket gift cards or other items for the event.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, we should coordinate so we don't double up.
Yeah.
Right.
Like 6 from consumers.
So do we,
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Well,
Kind of
I will buy
awesome.
tickets for that.
so do we all want to bring gift card or
From a
donation
different.
at our
Sure.
next council meeting?
I
Would
will-
we like to do
I will
that?
not do consumers. I'll leave that alone.
Okay.
What's the amount that you wanna?
Yeah.
What are we thinking, 25 a piece, 20? What do we, what,
25, I'll do.
25?
I'll go to Joey's.
Okay. so 25, okay,
I need you.
okay, awesome.
I'll make you a gift. You buy like 25.
I will.
Oh, yeah,
I will take care of it.
That'd be
And I'll
awesome.
tell you what you want.
Now you won't do
It's
for
like
the
my-
same.
my
for
wife
the
is
same
better.
price.
It's like my wife.
okay.
That's cool.
So the other thing was, last Wednesday, I did the Warriors Walk and we walked on Main Street. And I spoke to the mayor about this, East Side. I'm not really familiar, well versed on that part, but the Hometown Heroes banners are faded on the east side. Did you take a ride down? So there are 9 Hometown Heroes banners. The cost to replace is $175 each. So we want to work on getting some donations so that we can replace those Hometown Heroes banners. I just wanted to throw that out to everybody.
Trusted agency.
How did it
originally fund out? It wouldn't be trusted agency. How did it originally funded?
The families purchased them.
Family bought it, so we kind of offer them any kind of guarantee at the time that we maintain them. to take care of them.
So I don't know when they went up. I believe it was 2019.
Wow, it's really lasted.
I thought
Yeah,
Sharon
I
said
think
2019 or 18.
If we made that kind of a deal, we.
Well, there are some businesses that would like to donate to the cause. So we can figure that piece out, but that's something that
With a sponsored. by-
not on the,
No, no,
they
no.
wouldn't put anything on the
Okay.
flag.
That would be.
They
advertised.
just, right, they just want to help the cause. So I guess we can figure that out, how we figure that piece out.
I mean, wouldn't they be? Where do we get them?
So they're the same company that they were purchased from. I want to say,
But the recommendation we
Yes.
have is to make them go really tall, and they want to make them a little shorter, so they fit on the poles better. So we have to, it would just be better for us if a little, it's less expensive.
My
We-
suggestion is why we have- buy it directly from our agency.
well, we can, but they weren't that old. And then the discussion was, we felt bad going to the family to say,
No, no.
would you
I'm
like
not
to
saying
replace?
keep them on staff.
Oh, yes,
Companies that want staff,
yes,
rather than-
absolutely.
Money putting in a trusted agency,
Yeah,
that
no,
money
no.
just-
That's not the hard part. I'm just thinking. if we Sold them something, it'd be nice just to.
Replace it.
And do we want the same company if they only last us 3 years?
Well, there was an issue with the brackets and,
Is it because
But the brackets, they're faded.
well, the west, well, they're on the west side and the east side. and the west side hometown hero banners are not as faded as the east side.
Well, the east and west is where they are.
Then we should.
Yeah. Aren't they on both sides? of the
Yes.
flag?
They're on east and west. East side, the west side is more worse, and they're just, you can see right through them.
Actually, leave it out. Were they purchased all at the same time?
Yes, well, no, I don't know that.
I think the
I can
sun
ask.
side, which is the west side, that side is more faded than the other side. I think that's what happened. The sun, you can see right through the flag. So you can't,
Yeah,
you can't even
they
see
were
the
in really
pictures where
bad
they
shape.
are. It's kind of embarrassing.
And are we open to other people buying, like getting new hometown heroes, or is that a,
I don't see
Drop
why we-
dead
I don't
right,
see why we wouldn't, and that's. where we
You
open
can go
up.
further down,
There's a total of how many?
9
Just 9?
that
total?
have to be replaced. That have to be replaced. Right,
I see,
9,
I see.
or you counted 9.
Yeah, exactly.
You replace half. and
Then they're gonna complain that they look exactly.
Did
You
you-
replace them all,
How come you didn't?
Did
replace
you,
all the
was it
teams?
9? But
Yeah.
was it 9 total?
9 total.
Okay, so 9 total.
I
On
say
both
we-
sides.
I mean, if more want to do it, I mean, that's where fund comes in, you can pull it out of that fund if more people want to donate to it, but, you know.
Let
What-
me go back.
What's the best way?
Before my time, but you have something sounds vaguely familiar. Let's see if that's
Sure.
what it was.
Okay.
I have to ask Mandy how it was handled. and I'll probably get you.
And I may be inaccurate about the year, so I'll double check that and let you know.
It's still close enough. I would have thought it was closer. I thought we did a lot of that stuff after 9/11. I didn't know it was waiting that long.
I can't believe they've been gone in 3 years ago, you know, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's.
It doesn't make sense. No.
He had those on the city market for a lot longer.
Yeah.
I know, I liked that, yeah.
And that's complete sense. Let me ask Mandy what fund it was from. There
Okay.
might still be a line there, but might still have money hanging out.
Okay, all right. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about, Roswell Park has teamed up with the Niagara Greenway Commission. And they're working with municipalities, like for the garden walk. They're also working with municipalities to see if any businesses are interested in, there are these little trash receptacles that you can put your cigarette butts in. And they actually connect to, you can connect them to your business, you can connect them onto our trash receptacles on Main. So I kind of wanted to walk Main with Carl and Sean to see if any business owners would be interested in these containers. I'll show you a picture of what one looks like. No, so that was the signs for the garden walk. This is what the trash receptacles look like. I asked her to send me a photo. Okay. So,
Okay.
they're small, and then there's another option. There's a bigger one.
Would they just, I mean, are they permanent mounted on something that they?
Yeah, so there's screws in there and you can just nail them to where. Yes, so this top would pop out, and that's how you empty it. And then, so there's that little space there. That's where the butt would go in, cigarette butt.
And who would that be responsible for the business owner to empty them?
Yes, yes.
They're ashtrays, not trash.
Well, they can go on a trash, they can go on like the side, there's like little, like, I don't know what you call them, but
the bars?
yes,
slots,
the bars,
yeah.
slots. That's what they're doing in Hamburg. That's where they're putting them. So, it wouldn't cost the business owner anything, and it's just, they have all these, they have them around. So if they're interested, we just let Roswell Park know.
Could we get a couple?
Yes,
So we had something like show and tell, hey, would you like this?
yes. So I have one in my car, the taller one, so I'll show you. That was the only picture she sent me of that little silver one.
We can get a couple of
Purchase more for them.
Sure. They're actually it's through a grant, so. So they're going to municipalities to kind of, sell this to each municipality.
So
So-
what is their, why is Roswell doing cigarette receptacle?
So-
Yeah, does it shock people every time you touch it? So you get like a
No.
negative,
No,
Pavlov?
so they're teaming up with the Niagara Greenway Commission and the Niagara Green, keep it clean.
Okay.
So Niagara Greenway Commission actually received the grant. And they have partnered with Roswell Park, and their initiative is to unify and beautify municipalities. So they're working with Buffalo, Hamburg, they're working with the town of Tonawanda, I believe, or they're connecting with the town. So they're working with each municipality to tell them that there's this grant that they've received. And here's what they would like to do to help unify and beautify downtown. And if businesses outside of downtown are interested, they would absolutely get them one. So that's that.
Put them
So-
all over. The bathroom facility?
Well,
I'm thinking
Would
that's
they
where the
choose
butts
where
are,
it-
under
would-
the bridge.
No,
Does
it's a-
business choose where it goes and they would self-install these?
yes,
Okay.
yes. Yes. So, and I'll show you the one that I have throwing around in my car. But so if, we can pick a night and we can go down and we can pick a night and then I asked for like a flyer to talk about this with the talking points so we can share it amongst any business owner that may be interested, okay?
Mondays are bad.
Yeah,
A lot of lot of closed businesses on-
yes, Monday is not good, yeah. So we'll coordinate sometime.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else? All right. Dave actually wanted to make.
Yeah, I want to make a motion to adjourn in another private.
I'll second.
Second.
Okay, so Mr. Clerk, motion to adjourn by Mr. Mylum in honor and recognition of Pride Month. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Have a good night, everybody. So that,
Take me an offer, Dave.
Yes.
Hop up in there and take a look.
You're gonna be ending the call at this time. Thank you for joining us. Have a great evening.